What is up, guys? It's AdamBomb, and welcome to my picks for 2016 games. I know this might not be everybody's choice in games, but this is my opinion, so I hope you guys like my list. If you feel like I missed anything, please add it in the comments. Number 1, No Man's Sky. This game looks super interesting to me just because of the really in-depth procedural thought they put into this game. Basically, every single world is going to be different and have a different environment, and what I would call it is kind of an action RPG exploration in space game. I mean, there's so much going on in this game, it's hard to really put it to words and classify what this game is going to be, but basically there is intergalactic trading, and you go to each planet and collect a bunch of resources that are unique to that planet, classify its biology, and then basically go to a hub and trade everything. I think that's super cool. There's going to be so much to explore in this game, and it's my type of game. It's kind of like Spore in that each planet will have different creatures to look at, and that's going to be really interesting to me. Probably the most interesting aspect of the game. Number 2, Recore. This game, coming out in spring 2016, is probably on my top favorite list. Even though this list is not in order, I think that the story of this game is probably going to be one of the most compelling of the year. You basically see in the trailer that you're on a random planet and it's very deserted. There's like the leftovers of amazing technology, and probably my favorite part of it is the fact that you get a little pet and it looks like you're really bonded with it. It looks like you guys have a close bond, and then you get to battle enemies with it. The types of things you get to do with the combat, it looks like it has first person shooter and RPG elements. There's just so much going on with it, and I anticipate that they'll do some really interesting things with that. Finally, probably the most interesting feature that I see with this game is that you can switch out your pet, and it looks like they kind of have a suicide button that will really help you out in some intense situations, and then you can take that orb from that pet, which is, I guess, like its soul, and then put it into another robot, which is really fascinating. I wonder what they'll do with that. Number 3, Firewatch. This game looks like it has a ton of depth. I know I say that about a lot of games, but the amount of options you have for conversation in this game look insane, and a lot of the game seems to revolve around the relationship you build with the person you talk with. Don't want to get into too much or spoil anything for you guys, but you should really go watch the trailer for this game. And this game has a lot of the kind of wilderness creepy aspects that you would expect in the game, and it revolves around the disappearance of 2 girls. So there seems to be a lot of caves and a lot of hiking and climbing, which would lend itself to some really interesting situations. And in the trailer you see that you are being followed by someone, which makes it even creepier. I normally don't play games like this, but the fact that it's set in one of my favorite places to go hiking in Wyoming, and there's just so much going on with the game in terms of story possibilities. Number 4, Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn is set in an open world environment where humans have been overtaken by robots as the dominant species. Robots have taken over as multiple types of species and roam the lands as both predator and prey. Set in a cave world-esque meets new world technology vibe, and it's hard to explain, kind of steampunky, but you get all this old world technology, and by old world I mean what the humans used to use mixed with caveman tools, and you get to hunt down robots. I'm guessing you get to explore why humans were destroyed and why the world is like it is, and then maybe discover some of the old technology. That's what I really see as a huge potential, is exploring the old human cities and interacting with the different tribes of the world. There's going to be a lot of interesting combat mechanics, like with the bow. I don't know what other weapons they've showcased because this is the only one I've seen, but there's a lot of potential for combining old world technology with some new world mechanics. Number 5, Scalebound. In this game, you get to have a dragon as a pet, and what else do I need to say about the game? I mean, having a dragon pet with such great AI as the game seems to portray in this footage seems like an awesome idea. And you as a character are not insignificant on your own. You seem to have a transformation ability which you can use in desperate times, like when fighting big bosses, and those seem to greatly amplify your abilities and give you new ones. It seems like there will be some sort of multiplayer interaction in this game, definitely a campaign, and maybe you can bring in your friends with their dragons and fight other bosses. They do have a scene in the footage where a bunch of dragons are coming together to fight a huge Hydra, and that is in another trailer. I see a lot of potential for this game. Fortunately, it's only for Xbox, so I will have to get a capture card to play this game, and some of you may be kind of disappointed by that, but the gameplay mechanics say enough on their own. Number 6, Dark Souls 3. This game has so much hype surrounding it that I barely need to even make this included in the video, but the game kind of speaks for itself, although some people seem to be worried about the development schedule and how quickly it's coming out. From the success of Bloodborne, I don't see that being a problem. Now, in the footage that I'm watching right now with you guys, it seems like the boss battle has a ton of mechanics that didn't really seem possible in Dark Souls 2. Just the sheer difficulty of this game is really intimidating for me, since I haven't really gotten into a Dark Souls series before, but I really am excited to play this game on my channel. Dark Souls 3 definitely has a different atmosphere than the games that I'm normally used to be playing, especially in this new game, in the Dark Age. There's going to be a lot more darker imagery than we're even used to in the regular Dark Souls series, which is saying a lot. Number 7, Overwatch. The newly anticipated MOBA shooter from Blizzard carries with it a lot of hype. I don't know if I can speak for all that hype, but I certainly plan on playing this game. I love Blizzard games in general and have pretty much played all of them. I don't see it going wrong just because Blizzard puts a lot of time and thought into their games, and this is going to have a huge player base. I know that there are a lot of new quote-unquote MOBA shooters that are going to be competing for the attention of the fan base, but I think that the way that Blizzard markets and the way that this game will be, I think that Overwatch will capture a huge portion of the market. And speaking for the mechanics of the game, it seems like there are a ton of roles and a ton of characters to choose from, so I don't think I'll get bored in that respect. The only thing I would worry about is character balance, everyone wanting to play one character, and there being kind of some exclusivity issues with those characters and the abilities that they have, and I hope that they balance it well with the amount of players that are allowed to play which class and when doesn't get in the way of having fun in the game. Number 8, Gears of War 4. The Gears of War series seems to have ended at Gears of War 3, and I'm really interested to see story-wise how they are going to continue the series. I have played every single game in the series, and I've always loved both the multiplayer and campaigns in the series. Again, what interests me most about this game is what they're going to pick up from, because it seemed like they kind of closed up the story in Gears of War 3. What are we going to be fighting? What is the new threat? And how are we going to take it on? Who are going to be the main characters? Are we going to see the same ones from Gears of War 3, the old favorites? And how are they going to factor into the new blood that we are seeing in this trailer? Number 9, Unravel. This game for Xbox One and I think PC seems to be one of the more quaint and quintessentially different games that I am displaying here. It is a platformer, which may seem like a surprise to you guys because I don't really play platformers, but this game just seems so cute and unique that I had to give it a chance. The mechanic seems to be revolving around the fact that you are kind of a ball of yarn and you progress through the level using the yarn that you have. And I don't know if there'll be issues if you run out of the yarn or not, but I'm most interested to see the environments that they display in this game. Seems to be really cool, and they spent a ton of time on the graphics and the way that you interact with the environment and use it as a tool as the platforms that you jump across. Looks really realistic and the graphics look awesome, so I'm definitely going to be giving this game a shot. Number 10, Mass Effect Andromeda. The Mass Effect series is finally coming in with a new episode. Mass Effect spans the whole universe, and in this game they seem to really be capitalizing on the whole idea of free exploration. It seems like so many games these days are putting emphasis on sandboxiness, that's what I'm going to call it, and ability to take your spaceship to whatever planet you want to go to and do whatever missions are available on that planet seems to be a huge feature of this game, which I love. Fortunately, I've never played a game in the Mass Effect series. I'm going to have to catch up before the game itself comes out, but there's a ton of hype around this game, and I really hope that the studio can deliver such a massive title and appeal to everyone.